you get
vests, go on away
get
days.
calluses, like so when you shake people's
Like
hand, you're like, oh, CrossFitter.
Rugby, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, should we crack on?
Yeah, let's do
it. Jake, are we all good?
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. Robyn
Hi.
Lock.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the
Thanks.
Your PT podcast.
Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. I'm absolutely buzzing for today, actually. It's going to be a brilliant podcast. I've got every faith in that, and we're going to cover some diverse subjects today as well.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. We've known each other only for a few months, really, haven't we?
It feels like a lifetime, though, doesn't it? I've got you on my phone as James' best friend.
Oh, there we go. Well, that's good. Thank you. I've done the same.
Yeah, thanks.
But I mean, since we've moved headquarters to South Wales, you live locally.
Yeah.
You've been assigned our kind of person in CIMSPA, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So we've had the chance to catch up on a more regular basis.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Recently. And it's been great to see the shift change in CIMSPA, in recent years, and how much impact CIMSPA's having in the industry at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think that's an area that we'll certainly dive into today.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so we'll look at that. And what I always say at the start of these podcasts, Robyn, is these pods are aimed at fitness professionals operating in our sector, but also those on the peripheral, maybe looking at career changes, looking at health and fitness, looking at personal training as a career pathway.
Yeah.
So I think it's super important for our current personal trainers and anyone looking at the sector to know what CIMSPA is, what it does, why they should care, and why they should embrace CIMSPA as well as an organisation.
Yeah.
So we'll strip all that back. So we'll cover these areas. The first bit I want to start with is you. So learning a little bit about Robyn Lock, what your background is, and how you come to the point of working with CIMSPA in recent years as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my story, probably like most people's, I was always very passionate about sport. Sport was definitely part of my identity. I was the sporty girl at school. I loved PE. Every sport was a yes for me. I'd give it a good go. But have always been, my mum was a fitness instructor, a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Dad, brother played rugby to a really high level. Mum played rugby for England. So I've always been around sport. It's a massive part of my identity. So there's probably a bias towards I'll work in sport one day. Oddly enough, I went to university to study marine biology.
Well, okay.
So fun facts about sharks. I've got maybe two. One cool fact about a barnacle, but 2-1 in marine biology, I'll take that. But always in terms of my career, I was volunteer coaching, I was working with children in sports camps. I was part of a committee with my university rugby team. I played sport.
Okay.
So academically, I was kind of an anomaly to do marine biology.
Yeah.
But everything on my CV was sport. And I think had I not gone to university and studied marine biology, I wouldn't have ended up in the job that kickstarted my career, which was with the Students' Union and being the sports officer at uni. But yeah, and then in terms of my athlete career and as an elite athlete, been fortunate enough to represent my country in rugby. I've got 6 caps for Wales, and those 6 caps were off the back of quite a hard time for me in terms of me medically. So I'm a lymphoma survivor. So was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma when I was 21, and in that period of time, I probably fell in love even more with people who work in our sector, personal trainers, gym instructors, because yes, I was massively supported by the NHS and my doctors and my specialists. But the thing that when I was outside of the 4 hospital walls having chemotherapy, the thing that kept me going, and I remember him, Greg from Nuffield, shout out if you're listening, but he was, I just go to his fitness classes. And I remember my mum saying to me, what do you want to do? You've had to drop out of uni for a year. We've got every other Thursday. You're going to have chemotherapy. What do you want to do? And I'd had to stop playing rugby. I was like, I need to come back fitter than I was when I left. Yeah. End of, non-negotiable. Yeah. And without people like Greg, without people like my mum who are fitness professionals, I would have wallowed. I would have had no purpose. and I would have not gone back to rugby and probably would have never had my caps for Wales, because I would have been on this backlog of all my teammates who were then on that elite pathway, and I would have been the girl that unfortunately it didn't work out for her because she was poorly and she's kind of fallen off the radar. But I came back with a boom because of my fitness levels and because I had people who understood my goals, kept me motivated.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, our sector is so important. What personal trainers do for people on the ground, what gym instructors do for people on the ground, I'm like, they are more than, a PT. Like, we are keeping people fit, we're keeping people healthy, we're keeping people moving and motivated. Yeah. And for me, like, you combine those things, they are the most important thing somebody can do, is have a better lifestyle. Yeah. You look at the most successful people in the world, they've usually got a very good lifestyle and they're very grounded, and a lot of the time that's attributed to a coach, a personal trainer, a gym instructor. We're important.
Massively.
So that's, and then obviously having the opportunity to work for CIMSPA, who are the professional body for the sector, for me, it just feels right. Like, I'm so deeply passionate about what we do as a sector for people, the general public, women, children, those with disabilities, those with long-term health conditions, those with mental health illnesses, anybody who needs support and help, we can provide that. Yeah. So to work for the professional body and then be that advocate or help those people and be like, what do you need from us? How do we help you have the right knowledge and the right skills and be exactly who you need to be and be the best version of you in your day-to-day job? Yeah. If I can play a small part in that by supporting them, like, I'm happy where I am.
I love that. Yeah, it's so rewarding because you're helping people on their journeys. And I believe that's truly where you make the biggest impact, is where you can empower other people to do the right thing and be confident in their setting to communicate and educate. You've touched on such a brilliant point there, Robyn, and it'd be remiss not to go a bit deeper into that. So the importance of fitness professionals and alignment with illnesses, disease, injury, I couldn't agree more. I think they're so important and can have such a positive impact on physical state and mental state. Yeah. I think we lose sight of that as a sector generally. Do you ever see there being a tighter relationship between our sector and the NHS in the UK?
Yeah, I think 100%. When you look at kind of, which, you know, governments have spoken about it for years, that NHS is crumbling, NHS is because of waiting lists and there's not enough staff. And I think when you look at who could be a massive support to the NHS, our sector, a lot of the time people need medical intervention, and rightly so, and they will need specialised medical intervention. That's not us. But the people who are like, you're at risk of if you don't start moving, you're at risk of if you don't start getting involved in things or being embedded in a community, whether that is sport, whether that is training on a one-to-one basis, whether it's group PT, we are massively, like, we're a huge tool to the NHS for that. And I think for me, it's about getting those who work on the ground. The likelihood is you are going to work with somebody who has, 1 in 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer in their life. Horrendous stat. But unless we have some miracle breakthrough with medicine, that's probably not going to change. So the likelihood is you will work with somebody who is either in chemotherapy or is rehabbing from cancer, physically and emotionally. Like, I know firsthand, like, that takes a whole toll on you mentally. So people who are working on the ground will work with somebody who's got a long-term health condition, and that preventative tool of keeping them healthy for longer is where I think our sector will massively support the pressures that the NHS faces. And I think if more people, and I guess for us it's about how do we get the NHS, how do we get medical professionals, doctors, GPs, surgeons, physiotherapists, to feel confident in referring into our sector. And this is what is quite timely, but CIMSPA has launched professional status. So we're not now just talking about a level 3 gym instructor, a level 3 PT, level 4 exercise referral. We're talking about a personal trainer practitioner, an advanced practitioner, a senior practitioner who works in fitness, health and wellbeing, who works in movement. we're now talking about ourselves as practitioners. We're now talking about ourselves as chartered practitioners. So when you've got a chartered physiotherapist who then goes, my status is I'm a chartered physiotherapist. So how do I know the level 3 personal trainer over there I can trust?
Yeah.
Well, I'm professionally recognised with my professional body, which is CIMSPA. So now we're not just saying like, I'm a personal trainer. You're saying I'm a personal trainer practitioner.
Yeah.
I'm an advanced personal trainer practitioner because I can work with a certain population, you know, women and girls, postnatal, prenatal, like things that actually, if you spoke to most PTs, because they care about who they train, they go, oh yeah, I've got loads of CPT. I didn't just stop at my level 3. I've got pre and postnatal. I've got working with long-term health conditions. I've got working with children. Yeah. I've got, well, you're an advanced personal trainer, and now you put it into practice, and now you can start to work with. So that's the bit. That's how we kind of leverage towards health.
Towards health. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the age-old kind of query has been around data, proving our worth as a sector, proving. But I think if you ask the right people, you'll get the data and you'll get the answers.
The data's there. It's just making it available for everyone to see it.
Of course, yeah. And I guess we're in a unique position at your PT because we see these amazing, inspiring stories on a daily basis.
Yeah. And stories are data.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think about data as like zeros and ones and numbers and percentages and percentage increase and this fraction of this many people. And numbers are great, but the stories behind it is what really makes people listen.
Yeah.
So I would always encourage a PT, if ever they want to prove their worth, talk about like the clients that you work with, talk about the changes that you've made, get quotes from them, like that kind of marketing of yourself. Not to prove your worth, but to say, here's the impact that I'm having.
Yeah.
And actually, as an organisation, I've got colleagues that are working all across the UK, and look at the impact we're having. The stories are the bit that really make the data shine. So yeah, case studies, that sort of thing, like just talking about what you're doing and why it's important.
Yeah, yeah. And PTs in particular should take an immense amount of pride because they are, improving the well-being and the lifestyle of individuals. I
think it's a very honourable career. So somebody who wants to be a personal trainer and they say, most of your personal trainers, they're self-employed. So that in itself takes resilience, and that takes hard work to go, I'm going to run my own business, but I'm also going to make sure that I'm not just running my own business to make a good living. I'm doing it. I'm running my own business because I want to help people. Yeah. And that's the type of business that they want to create, is a business that helps people and could help lots of people if they do it really well. And I think that's very honourable, because somebody could run a business selling knockoff handbags and go, I make the same wage as you. But I think the impact that PTs and anybody working in the fitness industry as a self-employed practitioner makes a real honest living in terms of helping people. Yeah,
we see it all the time. It's very rewarding on lots of different levels. And you've touched on some really good points. The practitioner side of it, I think, with public perception, is giving PTs more gravitas and more of a professional image. So I think the buy-in from fitness professionals needs to be paramount in these discussions as well. So I'm going to go back to your story for a moment, Robyn, because we'll dive into CIMSPA and the structure in a little bit later. So your stories are a massively intriguing and inspiring one. You mentioned some of the challenges, through your sporting career and having to overcome, medical kind of situations as well. I think, from my perception, a lot of this highly successful personal trainers have come from a sporting background, which is quite interesting to me, or come from a competitive background. So not always necessarily sport, but maybe they've been in competition, whether it be with a sibling growing up or whether it's in a different sector. What sort of traits do you think you can pull from being in a competitive environment that you can apply to the world of personal training?
So I think for me, coming from team sport, if I wasn't pulling my weight, so I wasn't eating well, training well, giving 100% in every training session, doing my analysis, the bits that are hidden that you could go like, do I need to do my analysis? Yeah. I kind of want to chill out, or I want to see my friends. I won't do analysis. No one will know. It's not marking it's not marking homework. When I turn up to training, I don't know the line-out calls, and I haven't done our defence analysis on who we're playing at the weekend, and therefore I make a wrong move in defence.
Yeah.
I put my team out.
Yeah.
And I think the idea, particularly in a team sport, you have to be the best you can be, because at some point you could then be blamed for, like, you messed up there and that was on you, and then you become accountable. In a solo sport, so I'll always be like, people who come from like tennis or like climbing or just swimming as well as a solo sport, you are solely accountable for your performance. There's none of this like leaning on a teammate and you go, they'll probably push a little bit harder in the scrum than me. They're a little bit stronger, so I can edge off the scrum a bit quicker if I need to.
No hiding place.
There is no hiding. So I think coming from just any competitive sport where your performance can be judged and it can be directly linked to a win or a loss, just makes you competitive. And if you were to then relate that back to work or family life or however it is, but trying to be the best version of yourself for the people around you, because if you then think, what's a win for me in my life? A win for me is now being the best mum I can be for my girls. So I will make sure that, like, I'm not a regular mum, I'm a cool mum. No, I'll be the best version of me. That means I can be the best mum. So for me, that does mean, like, I will still train, because mentally I want to show up for them when I need to. But I just think it comes from that you will be judged on your performance. And I don't know whether also you kind of thrive on that. Like I can be a bit of a dog with a bone with things, and when someone goes, "Well done, Rob," I'm like, "Thanks." Like that kind of external recognition of "Well done, that was a good job." I guess for me, it's maybe working on that intrinsic.
That's
you did
really
okay.
Good. Yeah, and it's that internal feedback loop, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're getting that feedback directly. I think if I'm to capture that characteristic, it's the ability not to let yourself off the hook.
Yeah.
Especially in a team environment,
Yeah.
you don't want to let your teams down.
Yeah.
In a individual environment, it's down to you.
And I think it's like reveling in that, like, I'm going to be judged. So
Yeah.
if you were to look at it from a PT point of view, if they go, I'm setting myself my own little target this month of engaging with X amount of new people who don't know me, don't know what I can do, and they don't know how I can help them. If I don't hit that, I'm taking personal pride in that. There's accountability there.
Yes.
But what's the default of then going month after month after month? I'm not engaging with these people. I'm not talking to people. You start to lose clients. Yeah. You start to not get new clients, and you start to help less people. Like, that's if you were to relate, like, why is being critical of yourself a healthy amount? You don't want to be super critical to the point where, you're self-detriment, but why is being slightly critical or aiming high? Because also if you go, I've set myself these really hard targets, but if I get half of them, that's still good. So almost that ability to say, I can do it, I will do it, and maybe I'll do it better than what I did before. That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the reinforcement through the feedback cycle, then it allows you to make mistakes, learn from them quickly, and then, move forward in the right direction with all those lessons in your mind. And it's so important for self-employed PTs to understand that. Massively, because they are out there on their own, as well as we support them through mentorship and marketing and infrastructure at your PT. We can't deliver the sessions physically for them. It's all on the individual. So I think what you've mentioned there is kind of setting robust kind of targets and not being not accepting mediocre performance. You need to go out and you need to thrive and you need to hit your targets and above. And
I think if you go back to team sport, look, like, I'll hold my hands up. During my time as an elite rugby player, was our performance in Wales the best it's been in history? No. But we, as a group of players, I know collectively all my teammates did everything they could to be the best person they could be on that day. And that network was really important. Like, in life, you will peak and trough. Some weeks you'll feel great about yourself and be super motivated. Other weeks, for whatever reason, things just might feel a little bit harder. But having that network of people. So for me in my work, I know that's my colleagues. I know that's my family. I know that's my friends. I know that also in work, I've kind of got mentors, people that I aspire and I look up to, and I go, don't want to be weird and a bit stalky, but we okay if every now and again we can grab a coffee and I can just talk to you about work stuff and you can kind of non-biased judgment talk to me about what you think you're hearing. So if somebody does feel kind of like, I'm self-employed, I'm on my own,
Yeah.
think about your network, who you've got around you. Obviously with your PT, you've got your regional PTs, you've got all these people that want to see them succeed. But also like locally, who's part of your network?
Yeah.
Who are people that you can just go, just want to talk to you about some things, or, you know, maybe we can do something together to humdrum up a bit of interest. Like that network is really important as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. We're always trying to inspire PTs to get out of their four walls, go and get to know the industry, you know, build up a network, you know, align yourself with fellow fitness professionals, because ultimately, you know, personal trainers who are successful are very entrepreneurial, very driven, and those characteristics, I often find that they're very giving with their time as well. So they'll spend the time to help a fellow colleague, you know, thrive in their world, in their situation. So there's lots of good threads in there, Robyn. I think you've always been involved in sport, so working in sport, playing in sport, overcoming challenges. You mentioned a word earlier, resilience. So how have you managed to harness your resilient mindset to overcome any challenges or setbacks that you've had so far in your career?
Gosh, that's a really good question. And I don't know whether, for me, I think you've got two options. So like you dealt the card you dealt with.
Yeah.
So let's take, for example, very extreme, but when I was diagnosed with cancer, you know, I could then go, oh, that's not fair. Yeah. I don't want cancer. Like, now I'm sad. But I got it. That me being sad about it, or me then going, why haven't they got it? You wouldn't dream of saying that. And then I kind of went through the mindset of going, well, good job it was me, because I would hate to have had it to my friend who maybe this might have beaten them. So do you know what? And, you know, touch wood, like whoever is out there, sorry, I banged the table. I'm not supposed to do that. touch wood. But if anybody, you know, I'd have it again if it meant that somebody who is a little less resilient than me means that they don't get it. You know, I'd have it again if it means that my girls don't get it. I'd have it again if it meant that my partner doesn't get it. So I think for me, you're dealt with what you're dealt with, whether that be then a client who says, no, sorry, not today. Yeah. Or whether that be you didn't get the job you wanted. Yeah. Whether that be this relationship isn't working out. However, I can then go, oh, everything's rubbish. Or you go, okay, and how do we rebuild? What is the task ahead? Like, what's the immediate task to, like, get through this? Like, I remember my mum saying to me, she said, you're so weird, but got diagnosed with cancer. And then I looked at him and with the doctor and I was like, so I'm going to lose my hair, aren't I? He was like, yeah, you are, but have you got any other questions? I went to Mum, we need to get headscarves. And she was like, you just started creating like a shopping list of like, okay, what's on my to-do list now? Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I've now had to go back and like unpack all of the things that I probably just put away.
Deflecting, aren't you, in that situation?
In the back of my brain.
Yeah.
But I think resilience comes from probably being task orientated. And, you know, there is times when you can wallow, and it's good to self-reflect and go, that made me feel, I obviously felt a certain way. Yeah. And we all feel certain ways about certain situations we're dealt with. But, you know, I take it like as an example, like road rage. Someone cuts you up, you then shout at them, scream in your car, and you've got your family in, and then you're behind the wheel. That person's driven off. You beat them and they've gone, oh, yeah, sorry, I cut you up. Yeah. They've cracked on with their day. And then you're like,
you're harboring
now
it.
I'm fuming and I'm now going to go and work. And the next person I'm going to talk to, I've probably got that like 10% less patience or 10% less compassion or 10% less kindness because of something that happened to me that wasn't in my control. You like whatever is in your cup and spills over, like you determine that, don't you? Yeah. So I think you choose to be resilient. Or you choose not to be resilient.
I don't think there's a fairer way of describing
I'm
that.
like a hard, you're in one camp or you're in the other.
Yeah, and it's testament to you, Robyn, you know, for your resilient mindset to bounce through that, you know, and it wouldn't have been easy, undoubtedly, but setting yourself targets. And that might have been the first target. We need to get headscarves.
Yeah.
and setting yourself a roadmap and a way through this journey.
Yeah.
I think is key. When he was speaking then, and it's again a rugby situation, I remember reading Dan Carter's autobiography years ago.
Yeah.
Dan Carter was
Wonderful man.
Yeah, wonderful man, a fantastic rugby player. A very responsible position as well. 10 on the field. And he talked about if he ever made a mistake or was ever faced with adversity or anything of that nature, he'd always think next phase. So if he made a mistake in a game, he'd go, right, that's done. Next phase, I'm going to get it right.
Yeah.
And I think personal trainers, there's loads of correlation there with what you said, because personal trainers can take that principle, that mindset into their day-to-day working regime and focus on a daily method of operation and just be unshakable with delivering that and moving forward.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you've done exactly that through your cancer journey.
Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't all plain sailing. Like, I had a relapse scare and there were things like that. And, there's always that kind of voice in the back of your head that says like, oh, should we just be really sad today? And you go, no, because what if this is like today is, and again, like, not to like make it all doom and gloom, but you never know, like when is your last day? Yeah. So just like make the most of it. So you might have a client that says no, or they might not renew, or they might not book on to, but they might come back in 2 months because they were like, not right now, but I absolutely loved working with you and I will need you again at some point in my life. So I will be coming back. Yeah. Or it's not me now, but 2 of my friends really need your help. So that kind of, that ability to stay in a positive, resilient mindset, next phase mindset is going to help. It's only going to help you. Yeah. Absolutely. No, that is brilliant and inspiring. I think that's highly commendable, and there's so many lessons people can learn from that, Robyn. Okay, we're gonna move tactics a little bit now. Okay, yeah. We're gonna go into the world of CIMSPA. Going to go into set piece now.
Yeah, set piece. Apologies to any listeners who don't follow rugby.
In rugby, you have lineouts and scrums, and they're known as set pieces.
This is the most Welsh podcast you could ever find, isn't it?
We just need to start singing like Sos van Bach now.
Yeah, maybe we finish on that note. Yeah. But yeah, let's look at CIMSPA. So if you were to just give layman's terms a basic overview about what CIMSPA is and does, that'll be a good starting point. So, first of all, CIMSPA stands for the Chartered Institute for the Management of Sport and Physical Activity. So basically, we're the chartered professional body. So every sector, construction, engineering, hospitality, finance, HR, they have these professional bodies. And they basically say, here's the rules of our sector. So that's what the chartered bit means. Chartered Institute, sorry. Of course. Then we manage our sector, and our sector is sport and physical activity. Yeah. CIMSPA. Yeah. Not to be confused with Simba, which I have had a couple of times. So CIMSPA, that's who we are. Yes. So then our aim is to create a professionalised sector that is inclusive, so anybody can feel like they can be part of it, that gains respect and is robust. Okay. So that's a kind of our mission. Yeah. We want to be a sector that stays around for a long time. Yeah. We want other sectors like education and health to respect our workforce. Yeah. So touching back on the point where we talked about, health referring into us and saying, I can trust this personal trainer, practitioner. Yeah. So we want to be around for a long time. And then the inclusive bit is that we know as a sector, we have in the past behaved a certain way or looked a certain way in terms of diversity of our sector. We're not a sector that's seen as an aspirational career for some different communities. So we're trying to change that in terms of saying it's a sector for everyone. Yeah. Anyone and anyone can be physically active in the way that suits you. And we have got people who can support you with that. So we are, and then as a sector, as a professional body, we've then got different occupations that we recognise. Yeah. Personal trainer, gym instructor, coach, swim teacher, managers, different occupations. And then we would say to the sector, okay, let's look, for instance, at a personal trainer. We would then say, hello, sector, what do you need a personal trainer to be able to know, to be able to do, and how should they behave?
And then the sector says, we think it looks like this. And that is called a professional standard. So we have a professional standard for each of our occupations, and then we gatekeep these standards. We keep them protected. We then say to educators, and a great example, your academy, who then run the level 2, level 3, pre and postnatal, we would then say to you guys, here's the professional standard for what you're trying to teach.
Yeah.
Make sure you meet this.
Yeah.
Great work, you guys do. All the stuff is accredited and endorsed, and you're one of our top training providers.
Yeah.
But we then also gatekeep those standards. So when people say, we want to teach your workforce, we want to educate your workforce, we say, okay, but this is the standard that they want to be educated to.
Yeah.
This is the content. So then we would also work with
So there's a benchmarking
benchmarking.
there.
Yeah.
And just in terms of professional standards, who's contributing towards them? Because there's a myriad of different people, I would imagine, contributing.
Absolutely,
who have
everybody.
been in the sector for a while. They understand what gold standard looks like, I guess.
Yeah. So we kind of keep them locked in a safe. We don't then go, oh, CIMSPA, should we write a professional standard for what do we need to do when we work with someone with a long-term health condition? We don't then go, Rob, get on a call with 3 of your CIMSPA colleagues, and we're like, oh, pluck it out of the air. Yeah. We would then have a consultation with the sector to say, we need to write this standard, or this standard is up for review. Who here feels like they would like to contribute? So if we take, for example, we've recently released a new professional standard of working with those living with mental health conditions.
Yeah.
We have spoken to Mind. We have spoken to personal trainer practitioners on the ground. We've spoken to organisations who might support those. We've spoken to the Activity Alliance. Basically, anyone who had, thoughts and feelings on what this standard should look like, we spoke to them.
Okay.
We then review it again, review it until it's ready to then go through a governance structure that boards and stuff go, yes, this looks good. Yeah, this is fine. This meets the standard, or we're happy to sign this off. Then it's released to the sector. Yeah, okay. So all of our professional standards are on our website. So we've got professional standards for an occupation. So, for example, a personal trainer, that's somebody's occupation. Then we've got professional standards for population specialisms. So a personal trainer who might be working with women and girls, a personal trainer who might be working with children. So we've got different population standards as well. And then we've got environment standards, so where these things take place. So we've got working in a high performance environment, working in a community environment, those that work in school, but our curriculum. So we understand that our sector, there's lots of moving parts. Yeah. So the standards are quite black and white, but then if people feel like there's a standard that's missing, they can tell us. Yeah, okay. We think there's a standard that's missing here because, to give a good example, we're having conversations at the moment with outdoor kind of organisations, because the role of a PT who might then do a lot of their business in an outdoor setting is different to a PT that would work in a gym environment. Yes. So there's that environmental specialism that some people have said, maybe that's missing. So that's something that we're talking about. So they're never kind of, no more moving, they're our professional standards, don't talk to us, they're done. Yeah. Just follow them. People can always say to us, we think they need to evolve.
They can evolve with the times, yeah. And there's been massive shifts, hasn't it, in the last 5 to 10 years. But everything within the professional standards is ultimately fit for purpose. Yeah. Because it's been curated by the industry. Yeah, yeah. So that makes perfect sense. So if I'm a personal trainer, if I'm a learner looking to start a qualification, my aspirations to become a personal trainer, there's a myriad of different kind of learning providers out there. Yeah. What am I looking for from a gold standard perspective? Or that's probably the wrong terminology, a stamp of approval perspective, so I know the qualification is legitimate.
Yeah, so always look for it being CIMSPA endorsed. So when it's CIMSPA endorsed, lots of people confuse CIMSPA endorsed with being delivered by CIMSPA. Yeah. We don't deliver any training. Yeah. What we say is this training is up to standard, it's endorsed. Yeah. So always look for that. Okay. CIMSPA endorsed qualification or a CIMSPA endorsed piece of training. But then another thing that people can do is they can go onto the CIMSPA Training Academy And on the training academy, we have all of our, what we call our 3-star enhancing training providers, who are like the quality of the content of the course, the quality of the staff, so their education team that you'd be learning from, the quality of their processes, their procedures, their policies is like top notch.
Yeah.
We can't suggest anything to make it better.
Okay.
So they will all sit on our training academy. So we work with lots of training providers. Some are 1-star, still a training provider, but there's maybe some things we're working with them on just to make them a bit more robust.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we've got 2-star. But on our training academy, so somebody was like, I really need to trust the training, and I don't know where to start, go to the CIMSPA Training Academy and look on there.
Yeah.
If then they have found a course and they've not done it through the training academy, that's fine. Just make sure it's a CIMSPA endorsed course.
Yeah, absolutely. So the directory via the CIMSPA Academy is probably a great starting point.
A great starting point, yes.
If you're looking for assurances that your
Yes.
course is legitimate, because we deal with the recruitment of personal trainers, and quite often we have a situation where a PT's applied for a role and they said, I've got the qualification, they said I'm level 3, and then you look at it, and if it's not aligned with CIMSPA standards and it's purely online and it took 4 hours to complete.
I know.
We have to break the news to that individual that unfortunately this does not meet the criteria.
And that's the bit that really like grinds my gears, is that there are people out there. We go back to like PTs being a very honourable career aspiration because they want to help people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately there are organisations out there that will prey on that want to help people and maybe do it quickly, and they'll go, Robyn Lock training on Groupon, you can be a level 7 PT for £99 and we'll do it in 2 weeks. That like does not happen. And so I would like a big no, do not go on Groupon for your training. If you see a training course that you go, God, that seems good, just do the due diligence of just check in, look for, because there's also very affordable training. Sometimes the most expensive training isn't the best training. There's lots of affordable training, so also don't go, but it was the most expensive one, so I thought it was the most legit. Like, ignore the pounds, just look for the CIMSPA kite mark.
Yes.
That's the bit.
Yeah, I think that's such a good message, and it's the old analogy: you buy cheap, you buy twice.
Yeah.
But not in all cases. So look for that kite mark, as you said.
And I think the world of like marketing and you know, people can fool you and they go, this looks great. Yeah. But there are, I mentioned your academy, but a 3-star training provider with us. Yeah. So we all know that the processes that you have, the courses that you run are all CIMSPA endorsed. Yes. Therefore, they're trusted. Yeah. So I would just say to people, just do your research. And if you don't know and you're like, I think I'm just shooting in the dark here, I'm like shooting from the hip.
Yes.
Come and speak to us.
Yes. Just
anybody in CIMSPA will sit with you on the phone and you can talk about what you want to do with your career, and we will talk to you and we will tell you what courses are available, where to go, who to speak to, what networks you might want to get in touch with. Like, we are there to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a pivotal part of the journey for a fitness professional as well, choosing the right course that's going to fit you and serve you well. Yeah. Not just ticking the box, but actually making you industry ready to go and perform and thrive within the sector. That's really, and there are different tiers as well, Robyn, aren't there? So your academy is set as enhancing status.
Yes.
So there's different levels to the kind of training.
So you can, so in terms of, so our 3-star are kind of like our, so if you just say, I've got a rugby squad. Yeah. Let's go back to the rugby analogy. I've got a squad. Yeah. Match day. I've got a squad of 32 here. My 3-star are my starting 15. Yeah. My bench are my 2-star. And then people who are in my squad, my training squad, are my 1-star. Still all very good rugby players, but there are just some that you go top notch. I want them on my starting team. So think of it as that, like your 3-star, your starting team. I was always bench, so I think I've just talked myself into being a 2-star rugby player, which I'm a bit fuming about.
Impact player.
Yeah. But you can still trust the training, you can still trust those providers, because if they delivered, if they didn't have good processes, we wouldn't have them as a partner. Okay. But our 1-stars, it might be that we are working with them on some kind of intricacies and things like that, and we're working with them. Yeah. You can still access their training, and their training is still legit and trusted. It's just that our 3-star, like our A team, I was starting 15.
Yeah, that's a brilliant way to put it. Yeah, it makes sense in my
Back
mind.
to rugby.
Yeah, we'll always find a way.
We will.
And what if I've qualified? I'm level 3. I've done the kite mark, CIMSPA accredited. What do I get as a CIMSPA member? So if I'm an active personal trainer and I'm going, right, I'm going to do my subscription to CIMSPA, what does CIMSPA offer? Because this has been enlightening to me in recent months since we've developed our relationship in the depth and scope that CIMSPA offers. I think that it's almost like a hidden gem almost. But and maybe we can work on conveying that message better so it's clear to fitness professionals for sure. But just as a top line, Robyn, what can fitness professionals expect as part of their membership?
So you would get your professional status. Mm-hmm. So that is basically your quality stamp of approval to say to your clients, I have got the right skills, the right education, the right knowledge and the right competencies to do what I do. Yeah. You can trust my ability. So that's the main thing. But then also within that, there are, you get money off with some of our supplier partners like FitPro, who deliver lots of training as well. You get money off with, different gadgets and things like that. Don't ask me to get into that detail. But there are kind of those added benefits. Yeah. The biggest benefit is that you get awarded your professional status. Yeah. And with that is your professional badge. So that is kind of your badge that you can use. It's a digital badge, which is basically a real-time example. So when you do a course and you get a certificate, you get that certificate, and unless you lose it in a fire, you've always got that certificate. Your digital badge says, I am up to date with everything I need to be right now, right here today. As opposed to like, here's my certificate from 2020, no, not even 2020, let's go 2005. Yeah. So 20 years ago, I trained as a PT, and I've done nothing since then. But somebody will go, they're a level 3 PT. And it was CIMSPA endorsed. Yep, great. Your learning you did 20 years ago was endorsed. Yeah. But what have you done since then to make sure that you're up to date with the latest research, the latest insight? So we'll also work with those who are professionally recognised to make sure that they have up-to-date sector knowledge. So a great one at the moment in terms of how to work inclusively. Working with those with disabilities. Yeah. How do you put in practices into your work that makes you more inclusive? But also, most recently, we did a webinar on menopause. Yeah. So working with women in menopause, they're exclusive to our members, and that's because our members say we want to learn more about this. Yes, it's a hot topic at the moment. Perimenopausal, menopausal, and then postmenopause. Like, how does that change? So we speak to people in the NHS and we say, can you deliver a webinar? Yeah. Just for people to understand the nuances to those clients I might be working with. 100%. Another one is on the weight loss jab. So we recently held a webinar on the weight loss jab. Yeah. Just to do a bit of myth busting around it. But that's because our sector said we would need to understand more about this. 100%. And I imagine there'll be things that I can't foresee that then will become a topic. AI is a big topic at the moment. How do you use AI but stay authentic? Yeah. In your practice, so you don't just go, I'll just use AI. But how do you use it to be efficient, but you don't then just become there's another trainer just using AI. Yeah, yeah. And I can't trust them because I don't know them.
I think that's the trick for personal trainers, to actually utilise the resource available as well. So I think we've sent a few of our team on the webinars recently, and they've been like a revelation. They've had so much value out of them, and it was a new concept to us that they actually exist. Yeah. So I mean, raising the awareness.
It's like a best kept secret when you tell people. They're like, oh, and 1 hour I think we do one webinar a month. Sometimes we might do more based on demand or the topic. Yeah. But we've got some coming up about safeguarding. So working with people who you think might be vulnerable, vulnerable at home, vulnerable, at work, whatever. Yeah. But what's your role as a practitioner when you need to safeguard the people you're working with? Yeah, yeah. You see a change. So we've got a webinar on safeguarding. Yeah. We've also got a webinar on becoming a manager for the first time, just because people have said, I'd love I'm going on a management course, but I just want a podcast or a kind of a webinar way to learn that I can just plug my headphones in and listen to people talk. Yeah. So the main thing you get is your professional status.
Yeah.
And that's the recognition, the bit that says you can trust what I do.
Yeah. And we talked earlier about like CPD as well. So like I think a lot of personal trainers are rooted in this mindset where they have to go on a physical course to do CPD, or they have to dedicate countless hours to an online course to do CPD. But things like webinars, podcasts, accessing things like the Skills Hub or the Your PT Hub and learning on the job, it's all useful information that they can then put into their daily method of operation and get some benefit out of.
Yeah, so we ask when somebody gets their professional status. So I'm Robyn. I'd like my CIMSPA. I'd like my CIMSPA status.
Yeah.
Great, no worries. They become a member. We then say, Robyn, you're a personal trainer practitioner on this date, which is the 18th of September. How is it the 18th of September already? But the 18th of September.
Yes.
So in a year, I now need to maintain my professional status.
Yeah.
And we ask that people collect 10 CIMSPA points.
Yeah.
So this is where people then go, you know, a level 3 PT course will be 10 CIMSPA points. It's a full qualification.
Yeah.
But listening to a member webinar, a CIMSPA member webinar would be 1 or maybe half a CIMSPA point.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of events that are happening across Wales. It's like event season at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
But some of those are 3 CPD points. So Disability Sport Wales have got a conference coming up in October. That's 3 CPD points. CIMSPA, we're hosting our conference. That will be 4 CPD points.
Yeah.
And that's all based on, you know, so just by going to those 2 events, you go, I've collected 7. But the idea is that you don't always need to sit in front of a screen and do your learning and I'm doing a course because I have to maintain. Yeah. It's about making learning relevant. And sometimes the informal learning, listening to a podcast, you know, having a mentor, that's the bit that you showcase how you're continuing to develop.
Yeah, and I think by way of diversifying access to CPD, it's influencing more people. Because I was a prime example of this, Robyn. Throughout my career as a fitness professional, I did my degree in sport and exercise science. Back in the day, that qualified you as a level 3 personal trainer. Mm-hmm. It was reps back in those days.
Yes.
And I took it upon myself to do a personal training qualification as well, to try and fill in the gaps and learn a little bit more. Plus, it was funded, so I didn't pay anything
why not?
for it. But following that, I pretty much didn't do any further education for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's unusual because you're busy, you're doing your stuff. But back then, it was restricted in terms of accessibility to CPD.
And you probably informally learnt loads because you are sociable and you had conversations with people and you networked and you went to things and you spoke to people. So it's not to say that then you like locked yourself in 4 walls and you were like, this is the PT I'm going to be in 10 years. Here I am, the finalised product. But for us as a professional body, it's important that we recognise that informal learning.
Yes.
So not to say like, computer says no because you haven't done any CPD this year and you go, well, I haven't needed to go on a 10-point course because I'm qualified to the level I need to be at. But I've gone on webinars, I've gone to CPD, I've gone to events, I've networked. And so the more that we understand, and this is, I guess, a call out to personal trainers who are working in the sector, like, let us know how you learn. Let us know what you do. So if you go, I tend to go to, there's these events that happen, I go to them and they are brilliant. Yeah. Tell us. We'll engage with that organisation and say, do you want to make sure this is endorsed? Yeah. Because we want to reward the people for coming to your learning event.
100%.
You know, and that's the bit that we're never going to be the finished product, and we don't ever go, we know everything. Like, we're here to serve the people who are working in our sector. Yeah. So if they're saying, why haven't you endorsed this event, or why haven't you endorsed this type of learning? It's really valuable to us. Yeah. And I think the next stage for us will be to, you know, start to award CPD points for listening to podcasts and that sort of thing. So it's just people capturing that and like, what have you learnt this year from developing yourself? So
it's vitally important. And my mindset to it was completely the wrong mindset. We've actually done some data analysis around personal trainers affiliated with Your PT and their performance as a result of continual professional development, achieving their 10 CIMSPA points. And the statistics are telling us that those who are committing to CPD are earning around 35% more than those who aren't committing. And you can see why. It's because those fitness professionals, they're constantly excited. So they're learning something new and they're bringing it back to their facilities.
Yeah.
So they're applying it straight away. But usually it's directing them to a unique selling point or a demographic that they're particularly...
or like a point of view, or just that credibility to go, they know what they're talking about, I trust them. My best friend, she's a coach, and she sort of says to me, I never stop learning.
Yeah.
I never stopped learning. I did a qualification years ago, but I have never stopped learning in my job, ever. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's that the ability to like have conversations and learn with people. And you talked about that 35% more successful in their PT business when they do their CPD. And that's because they stay relevant. They stay agile to the needs of the people they're trying to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's earning as well. So they were earning 35% more than, so they're not performing better, but I believe if you go and develop unique skill sets and you kind of build your academics in a certain field, you can command more as a personal trainer because you're a specialist in a certain area.
And I think sometimes as well, when you talk to people, so obviously we do things with organisations we work with, we call it there's workforce development tools that we would use. But obviously somebody who's a self-employed personal trainer, always think about what you're not good at.
Yeah.
Where is my weakness?
Yeah.
And kind of look at, even if they would say, right, I'm a self-employed personal trainer with your personal training, there's this person who works near me who I know is performing better than me in terms of income, clients, return, repeat business, whatever it is, whatever metrics you want to use. And then, right, what do I do? What don't I do that they do? And if I don't have those skills, how do I get those skills?
Yeah.
So if somebody is super good at networking and someone says, the thought of networking makes me want to curl up into a ball and hide under a table, develop yourself there.
Yes.
Don't develop yourself on the stuff you're good at.
Yeah.
Don't develop the things that you're comfortable with because you're good at that. And then you just stay stagnant. So be super critical and be like, what don't I do very well?
Yeah.
What things make me go, ugh? Like previously I've never been very data-y, what do the numbers tell us? And as I've progressed in my career, I'm like, actually, I really need to be better at the kind of the data, the processy stuff, because that's what's going to help. Yeah. So I've learned.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you've moved your business forward as a result of it. I think there's personal trainers, getting stuck into their CPD, attaining your 10 CPD points. It's not a lot. And just going back to the point around accessibility these days, don't be afraid to reach out of sector as well. If you connect with a personality in a completely different sector, but it helps you with that gap analysis, resolving, bridging skills gaps within your own armory at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah.
Then do that because you're going to get a better result off the back of it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Let's look at industry standards.
Yes.
And when I say industry standards, quality of personal training.
Yeah.
And the fitness professionals that we see in the sector at the moment. So we've already established why we need a set of standards, and we talked a little bit about that. I think there's post-COVID, there was an uptick in the provision of online coaching.
Yeah.
And that's almost like the Wild West at the moment, Robyn, isn't it? So from an online personal training perspective, is there any governance in that world at the moment? Or
well, we don't hold a professional standard. So when I go back to the point I made about the professional standards, and we talked about the different, one of those environments, delivering online. During COVID, I didn't work for CIMSPA at the time, but I know CIMSPA did a lot of, this is how you deliver well online, and gave guidance and advice. Yeah. But there is not a professional standard. So we as a sector, we as the professional body, wouldn't have a standard or govern kind of the online coaching world. Yeah. So you're right, it is a wild, wild west. And I think if you can market yourself well on Instagram and you've got an attractive looking lifestyle and I want to look like that person and I like the way they deliver a message, unfortunately that tends to be the people that get gravitas and they tend to lean towards them. Yeah. And I do, in the future, if I was to predict, get a crystal ball out, I think there is a necessity that it becomes part of our standards potentially. Yeah. Because I think also, why stop good PTs from maybe looking at online? If that's the way that somebody goes, I haven't got time, but I do need some online provision because I can't come outside or I can't get to you, I don't have transport. It's a way to make it accessible.
Yeah.
But as it stands, no professional standard for delivering online.
Yeah.
So we can't ratify training against that standard.
Yeah.
You can't then give best practice guidance to people who want to work in that way.
Yeah. So the reality is, and you know, speaking just completely candidly and openly here, from a consumer's perspective, I engage with an online coach I found on Instagram. I haven't got a Scoobies if they're qualified or not.
Nope. You don't know what training they've done.
Yeah.
You don't know the source of their education.
Yeah.
You don't know if they are up to date with their standards because they don't have their professional status. So I'd always say to people, and I know obviously your audience is personal trainers or those who are thinking about coming into the sector.
Yeah.
Make sure you shout about the standards that you hold yourself to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not a given. It's not general knowledge that people assume.
Yeah.
You're a personal trainer. There must be some body that you then register to who then checks that you're allowed to do what you do. By law, no.
Yeah.
So the fact that people choose to hold their professional status is admirable, and they should shout about it.
They should. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think if we're going to encourage public perception and grow,
We've got to start policing ourselves.
Yeah, 100%. And talking about that, because for an online coach, it's a differentiator between top tier standard and substandard. And again, you know, I'm talking completely broadly across the spectrum of online coaching. We've had lots of examples of personal trainers who are highly capable online coaches. They work on a hybrid situation, face-to-face and online. I think it's probably the optimal position for a PT to get to these days, which is great. But for the other challenge that we kind of see commonly in the industry at the moment as well, Robyn, is people doing a qualification, going straight into online coaching. And I think there's such an education to go through to actually go into a physical environment, harness your skills, learn about how you actually
hone your craft,
100%.
like what your style is. Because I think when you look at, I'll take my best friend, for example. She is a phenomenal PT and has just done PTing alongside her career. It's not her full time, but her knowledge, her skills, she's professionally recognised. And now she's coming into the world of online coaching. Yeah. And she's like, do you know what? I'm able to help more people. But she's like, I could not have done this she's like, because I know who I am. I know my style as a personal trainer. I trust my knowledge. I trust my skills. Yeah. And now I'm taking it into maybe a harder environment to really get a sense of somebody. Yeah. She's like, so by working with people and then the cues of body language, the cues of like language change, the nuances to working with people physically in front of you, she's now able to transfer that to being online. Yeah. But she has also agreed with your point, qualified to going straight online because it thinks it's easy money, super efficient. She's like, there's no way I would have been successful and I wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a different game. It's a completely different game. Yeah. And it's a travesty for me because the personal trainers who have that mindset, and I get it, I get why they're attracted to going straight into online coaching. They don't have the opportunity to experience all the amazing benefits of working in the sector. Yeah. All the lives that you get to change, you know, the fun that you have in your gym environment.
And you could argue it's almost like it could be lonelier. So if you then go, like, I know working in, and like I teach fitness classes, and like working in that buzz with people, like I've had people approach me and be like, you're my favourite fitness instructor, obviously. Yeah. Can you PT me? I'm like, I can't, I'm not qualified. But do you know, if you like my style and how I approach like day to day and how I speak to you, I've got like several PTs I could refer you to because they are, you know, my kind of people. Yeah, yeah. But that buzz of getting to know other colleagues or working alongside people, building your network that we spoke about earlier, it's really hard to do in a virtual world. Yeah. And it's highly saturated. Like there's so many people who are like, I'll be an online PT. You go, okay. But also being a good online PT, lots of people go, I'd like them to be my PT. Yeah. They usually like to see footage of you working with somebody. Yeah. So you need to
Yeah, and you're in an environment there where you're not just competing with humans now, you're competing with AI and tech and everything.
And like bots and...
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, it looks to me, well, obviously we're a people business, so we're an in-person business. And looking at the online space broadly, you can see how it's quite murky waters at the moment. But I think we can collaborate and work together to improve the standards from there as well.
And I'll go back to my point about saying it's the sector that filters into these standards, and then we kind of gatekeep them on behalf of them.
Yeah.
You know, your PT and listening to your thoughts about that online space and how is it governed well, and how do we make sure it's less murky? Yeah. Like let's pick up these conversations, because I think it's probably come in, and we need to be agile to how the sector's changing.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. And obviously, you've been involved in the sector for a long time. Are there any hallmarks that stand out to you, Robyn, from a successful personal trainer? So if you're just observing a personal trainer or chatting to a personal trainer, are there any standout points or hallmarks that you commonly see and you think they get it, they understand it?
Yeah, I think, like you said, we're a people business. Like it's working with somebody in front of you, and I always describe a personal trainer as a professional friend. You end up becoming a friend to your clients in a professional kind of environment. So they will often then lean on you for just chit chat about life and advice, not just about how do you make me move well. My goal is to lose fat, gain muscle. My goal is to perform a certain way for a certain thing or look a certain way. You end up learning so much more about them as an individual. And I think when I see personal trainers, I go, oh, they just get it. Yeah. It's that ability to adapt to the person in front of you, not just say like, I personal train this way and this is my approach to things. It's being able to flex and bend and adapt to the person you have in front of you. You've got the right skills to meet their needs. You've got the right education, but that ability to go, do you know what? And it's interesting. I've spoken to a couple of personal trainers recently who are young, starting in their career, and just talked about like, what have you learned about yourself in the last couple of years? And they're like, I didn't realise the group that I enjoy working with the most, I didn't think I would. Yeah. And that was older men, retired, but still wanting to keep fit and active. Yeah. And this lad that I was talking to, he was like, and so I've just started to be like, okay, maybe I enjoy teaching. I enjoy working with this demographic. Great, and that's okay to enjoy that. And I've got to learn a bit more about. And now he's working with some of the Wales walking football team.
Oh, really? Okay.
And he's like, so technically, I always said like I want to work with elite athletes. He's like, I am. They're just
box ticked.
They're just in the under-75 teams. Yeah. And but he's like, that would never have been what I thought. So I think from a PT point of view, like, let your clients teach you things about yourself. Yeah. Who you might like working with, what areas might you struggle with in terms of that's a harder demographic to work with for me personally, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think it comes back to our kind of conversation there about working in person as well. Mm-hmm. I think for me, the standout personal trainers, and whether this be in person or online, are very emotionally intelligent. So they can read, but you only get emotion. You build your emotional intelligence by working with people physically.
People. Yeah.
So you can then transfer that into online coaching. You can develop and harness your coaching skills to become a better practitioner. Yeah. But I think there's certainly some key elements in there that do stand out.
And I think, I don't know if you've ever heard that saying, but when you assume, you make an ass of you and me. Yeah. I think like Joe Lycett ended up saying it once in a comedy gig, but I was like, I really like that. But it's that ability to so listen to what you think your client is telling you, then repeat it back to them. I've heard this. Is that what you mean? No, not quite. What I meant. Okay, great. Are we on the right line? So that back and forth conversation, so the client goes, they get me, and they get me like no one else gets me.
Yes.
So I've built this rapport, and it's everyone's got an ability to make eye contact, be nice, be personable, remember their name. Yeah. That's like the bare minimum. Yeah. But that ability to listen properly and then go, this is what I think you want to achieve. Am I right in thinking that? Yeah. Yes, you are. You get me like nobody else. And you're now somebody who I know gets me.
Yeah.
And I've built that rapport, but it's a deeper rapport than just, they're a nice person, yes.
cool.
They tell me how to move well. And so actually then when you get them, you're able to maybe surprise them about what they do, like push their goals a little bit more. Like, I think you could really do this, or, let's add a little bit more, or, let's think about a bit of a long-term plan for you and your goals.
Yeah.
And they know that you've got their best interest at heart.
Yeah.
Because you got them from the start.
Absolutely. I think, for any new personal trainer coming into the industry, they've got to nail that down. One of the new developments our side is we now provide all our PTs with a new course we developed with Ben Shepherd, the TV presenter.
Yes, I have seen this.
Yes.
He's in great shape.
He's in great nick, yeah.
I can't remember I saw... No, Men's Health.
He was on the front cover.
Front cover?
Yeah, fair play. He loves his fitness, but also with his presenting skills, there's so much crossover. So the course is called Instructor to Icon. There's 6 sessions, and it's all about exactly what you said. It's about body language, reading, repeating back your questions, getting a deep understanding of the why from the client that you're working with. There's so much value in there. But again, that's relevant CPD for the time of the career journey that personal trainer is in. At the start, that's imperative. You've got to get it right from the start and develop and grow as you kind of move forward.
Oh, is that just for your PT?
Sure, we can get you an access.
I would, that would be, because but in general now, I think, because that's a transferable skill. So like, even if you go, I'm not a PT practitioner, I'm a recognised manager, but I'm not that emotionally intelligent and my interpersonal skills aren't great. Like that, the ability, like we said, we're a people sector. So I know in my day-to-day, having good relationships with people, being able to understand them, talk to them, have genuine conversations, build rapport, build trust, that's applicable in my role the same way as it is applicable for a practitioner.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the ground. So
But learn from the best. It's the gap analysis.
Send me a code.
Yeah, we'll sort something out. 100%.
I'm like, hey, Ben.
Robyn, we're coming to the end of our podcast. We're wrapping up. So, as a rule of thumb, we always give our guests the last word whenever we run a podcast. So, this is a really broad question, but we've covered kind of entry level today, what CIMSPA provides, the value added for personal trainers. If I'm a PT and I've been in the industry a while and I might have got a bit stale and stagnant, where could I go to get some inspiration, get some access to resources, CPD, to level up? We use that term a lot. I
love it. It's such a great terminology.
Your personal training. So what do I do?
Get in contact with us in CIMSPA.
Okay.
We've got a team of our engagement team, and they are solely dedicated to speaking to our members about their career development. So you might have somebody, that's where we might talk to you about a chartered process. So becoming a chartered practitioner. We might talk to you about the next steps in your career in terms of becoming an advanced practitioner or a senior practitioner. So if you feel like you've stagnated, first of all, it happens a lot and you're not alone. People feel like they hit their glass ceiling. Get in contact with us because we want to keep good people in our sector. And if you're listening and this resonates, you're doing a good job. But let's help you level up. But come and talk to us because we're here to help you have a fulfilling career in our sector that you love and you understand what impact you give out based on what you do.
I love it. And if people take nothing away from today other than the fact that CIMSPA have got our back, they've got the industry standards kind of sewn up, and to work alongside the great work that you're doing is vitally important for all personal trainers throughout the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been amazing. I think you promised us a song to finish off earlier.
Oh, did we? Should we do Delilah, Tom Jones?
We'll do it off record. Robyn, thank you so much. We're loving the work that we're doing together at the moment. Excited for the future. And we'll do this again soon.
This is fun. Thanks.
A lot of fun. Well done, Rob.
Oh, was that okay?
Class,
Oh, good.
That was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.